And we're live. This is the Nifty Alpha. I'm Pio. I'm here with my co-host, Nifty Nick. What's going on, Nick?
How's it going, Pio? Nice to connect today.
It's going well. It's great to connect, Nick. We connected on our morning Twitter space show already today, talked about a myriad of topics. And
Absolute myriad.
Absolute myriad. And we have a few that we need to touch on today. Do you want to tell people what this show is all about?
This is the Nifty Alpha video edition, live stream version of it, where rather than participating with other people, we operate from the pedestal and speak down to you all, because that's the type of people that we are. And what we speak about is trading, NFT trading opportunities, trading stories, wins, losses, as well as occasionally some upcoming drops. We haven't really discussed it on the video show so far, but we're really getting used to this sort of position of authority and power that we've been holding recently with these shows. We now have 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is absolutely bonkers. And I think we're Kim Kardashian is going to be calling us soon for a partnership opportunity.
Yep. Rob Kardashian, actually, their drug addicted brother, has reached out to me already about a partnership.
That's quite rude. I think he went through rehab. Calling someone a drug addicted, I'm going to be honest, that was rude there. I have respect for anyone that has struggled with addiction and is trying to recover from it. So he's gone through recovery. That was a pretty bold call there. You may have just sent this down a spiral.
Yep. And I think that if you want to cancel me because of that, that's totally fair. It was completely an out of touch comment. Clearly, I'm totally off base here. So why don't we just
get canceled?
Why don't we get to the show while I'm not canceled?
Let's do that.
So I titled this video Creature World Airdrop, SupDucks, and Lazy Lions. I think that those are three relevant stories of the past 24 hours. What do you think of the Creature World Airdrop?
A commenter said, tell us about your college days, Nick. And I did that on a space the other day. I'm not going to do it when it's on record permanently. I'll save that for another period of time. But okay, so we're discussing Creature World again. There's been a thematic pattern that we've had occur with this show. I just want to call that out, which has been Creature World. We've talked about Atom Bomb Squad repeatedly.
Not on this show, not on the YouTube show.
Okay, well, fair enough. So yeah, let's start with Creature World. We can discuss that, and then we can expand from there. One quick thing that I think would be helpful to say, and I don't know if you want me, I can share my screen real quick.
Sure.
To actually run through some quick items as it applies to the space that we're in at this moment in time. So I have the index up on the nifty.com. And it's particularly relevant for the first time in a while, where we're seeing a lot of the action is actually with CryptoPunks. Over the past 24 hours, it's gone back to the top. It wasn't there for a while. There was a gentleman in our space this morning who was talking about his great trade when we asked him to discuss his bad one. But he did a $1 million CryptoPunk flip, which is phenomenal. Congratulations. But what we're seeing is this index that I have at the top of the site is actually the blue chip index. And that's something, call it blue chip, whatever, blue chip NFTs. I'm going to expose what's in that at some point soon, but you can guess what they are. CryptoPunks are obviously a major component of it, but we're seeing price appreciation. And that's the sort of thing that we're looking for. Punks, Bored Apes, things like that. When you're seeing those go up, that's a very positive indicator. It also may have to do with the fact that ETH is dropping, so they need to appreciate relative to ETH. So that is an important thing. But so I just wanted to hit on that real quick and show a brief snapshot of where we're at. Creature World doesn't actually show up at the top. SupDucks does, which is one of the items that you mentioned. But yeah, I just wanted to briefly share this because I thought it would be sort of set the context of where we are today and sort of timestamp that for people that look back at this historically, as people will in the future, because they know Pio and Nick, absolutely, we need to go back and reflect on everything a month from now, a week from now, a day from now, and a year from now and beyond. And they're going to be saying, what was the market like at that point in time? And this is what it's like. We're seeing plenty of volume. Volume is up right now. I actually keep track here on this tab, the overall volume. We're running at over $100 million 24-hour run rate. and we're at a unit volume, has stayed relatively consistent. These are the two things that I'm actually looking at. But this is where we want to be back at. This is back when the Bored Ape Yacht Club launched the Mutant Apes, and that was like the peak moment of NFTs a few weeks ago, and we really want to get back there so we can see our NFT portfolios surge to the millions of dollars, and then then we can debate whether or not we want to do this show anymore because our NFT gains are that significant. So sorry for that brief interjection, but interlude I thought would be helpful to sort of set the stage and the context.
Sure. So, I mean, I think that from my perspective, yeah, I'm waiting for my NFT portfolio to moon. I'm waiting to, have those insane gains. And I know that you are too. But if you were an owner of SupDucks and you bought in the past 2 or 3 weeks, if you're an owner of World of Women, I mean, that's been kind of a longer standing staple, but has still had some really big action. If you're an owner of Lazy Lions, apparently Sappy Seals is another one that falls into this category. Then you kind of feel like your NFT portfolio really has mooned right now. Like there are people that are holding 10 plus Lazy Lions, and all of a sudden that bag went from 0.1 ETH a piece to, over 2 ETH a piece. So, when I look at projects that I own, Deadfellows is one that I have high hopes for, among others. But yeah, it's just been very interesting for me to see what projects truly have mooned. Cool Cats is another one, versus the ones that have not. I know you and I have really high hopes for Creature World. Honestly, the performance of these other projects, like the ones that I mentioned, have me feeling like Creature World really has a lot of potential here. So I mean, I just want to kind of throw that out there. What did you make of the Creature World airdrop?
We'll pump those bags, Pio, because we definitely need them pumping. The Creature World floor has not been performing as we desired, but to answer your question, Creature World did an airdrop last night, which is the job of members of Creature World to get into a single wallet a full collection of these items. The floor on these items is 0.2 ETH. And last night, I had 6 people airdrop to me each their items into my wallet, which was quite a trust fall, right? Because 1 ETH, I could just run off with a few $1,000s real quick, and that would be great. But I'm not doing that. My reputation matters. But the main point is we're all working together to create something. And I've seen some speculation as to what people think is going to happen. This is going to put together one giant playground into a single piece. And that piece is going to be your portal to enter this new Creature World 2, essentially. And so that's where this is all headed, which is very exciting. And we'll be curious to see what happens. In terms of Danny came out and said that Danny, the founder of Creature World, he said that these are going to have no utility after this drop. But I mean, I still see there being collectible value to it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I have no idea what's taking place with the speculation that came out. Makes a ton of sense. It almost seems like a little bit too logical or completely logical. And so I'm not going to be surprised if that's the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, I got airdropped the rainbow. I was already sleeping last night when you were organizing those teams, and I'm in the Discord literally right now, and people are saying we need anything but thermal portal and grass, right? So it's like people are still assembling teams. I just pinged someone and I said, hey, I have rainbow. Is there anything that we can set up? So I'm gonna definitely trust fall and just send this to somebody. But it seems like these, like you said, they don't have collectible value beyond this. So I almost feel like you might as well just do this, versus not. You got airdrop this thing for free. It seems like it's a big team dynamic. It'll be very interesting this is creative. This is new. This is original. And these are the things that we look for in the NFT space that we don't see very often. And basically every time something new and original has come into the NFT space that hasn't been completely off, I actually can't even think of one that didn't work. it always seems to work pretty well. So I'm like anxiously looking at Discord just to see if anybody's getting back to me. But yeah, I mean, I have really high hopes for the project and I won't be in a rush to exit. I won't be in a rush to sell. I'm going to see this through. And if anything, that's been my problem since I got into the NFT space, is like having too solid of diamond hands. And I actually don't say that in a positive way, because I look at, our other co-host of the Nifty Alpha, the Sophisticated Art Speculator, and we both went through the Nifty Gateway bubble bursting, and he sold out of it with some pretty sizable profits. And, I held everything and my portfolio was in the gutter for months. And during that time period, I was very sheepish about deploying new capital into NFTs, given what I had just gone through. And that was when Guttercast came out. That was when Bored Ape Yacht Club came out. So I really missed opportunities because of a binary way of thinking that was because of that experience I just had with the bubble bursting, being so new into NFTs. And so I will be diamond handing this. I will be participating in this if people will accept me, if a team will accept my rainbow into the group. And I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of Creature World. Obviously, very high hopes. Yeah.
Yeah, you need a little bit of, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Keyboard Monkey, but Keyboard Monkey did an interview, and he's relatively volatile when it comes to, he said he paper hands all the time with a lot of his trades. And I think that you need to be, this is a space where you need to be able to read the market quickly and shifting dynamics, and sometimes get out when there's momentum, because again, this is an illiquid asset market. I've seen floor squiggles sit on the floor for long periods of time. And the reality is like these things all go in waves. So if you really want to maximize your value, that kind of looks like a frog when you turn it backwards. But yeah, I mean, I think if you want to really maximize the value of your trades, you have to get in. But here's the thing, diamond hands make sense for the best items. However, that said, I probably could have sold one of my Bored Apes at like 60, 70 ETH during that run up, and then rebought back in at 35 or something like that, or 30. And
It's so hard though. It's so hard to do that. And I wanted to do that with my mutant because I don't like my mutant as much as I like M1 Grin mutants. I've gone on record both on this YouTube show and on our Twitter Spaces show talking about the M1 Grin. And so I wanted to sell mine for above floor and then buy back in below floor, just buy for an M1 mutant that was cheaper, so I can have a little bit of an arbitrage and gain some ETH out of the deal and my preferred mutant. But it's so difficult to do that because no one has a crystal ball, and you run the risk of actually just losing your asset completely because of a floor sweep or because of just a crazy run continuing, where all of a sudden you would either have to put a lot more capital in to just buy back in, or it just totally becomes unattainable with price. So that's a really tricky thing to do.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we covered that.
No, so, it is tricky.
For sure. So, that Creature Playground, bottom line, really interesting angle. I did just see in the Discord, someone said that they think that their team may have rugged, which I think that is a very possible thing here with the structure of this and how they're approaching it, having to trust your teams. But at the same time, I think it's pretty cool. And it's a cool like game theory experiment to show.
You should be the leader though. That's what I'm saying, because that was the perk that I brought to that group, was they could look at my account and say, oh, this guy's Nifty Nick. He has his reputation to uphold, right? If I go and rob a bunch of people of their ETH then, or their NFTs, it's not going to fare well for me essentially. So I think you have that value to offer to this group. And so that really is ultimately what you're going for. Anyone who has a public reputation is the way to go. Otherwise, a bunch of different strangers, there would have been a whole qualifying process that had to happen in order to ensure that it was real. But people felt safe in this case. And I was able to tweet it out, AKA verify the fact that that is me. So they know, hey, this guy's not going to screw me over. So that's the value that you can provide to those individuals. So from that standpoint, if anyone listening wants to send me a bunch of NFTs because you trust in me, I would love that. I'd be looking for a CryptoPunk, maybe another ape or mutant ape. I'm open to all these different things. I'd even stoop so low to accept an Atom Bomb Squad, which let's be honest, that's scraping the bottom of the barrel. Am I right, Pio?
Well, I've seen a lot of offers come in on my bombs ahead of this metadata release on Monday, so I think that you'd be doing pretty okay if you acquired another Atom Bomb Squad. But okay, so why don't we talk a little bit about this project, the Lazy Lions project that I once was an owner of, and I sold for a whopping 0.21 ETH. It's currently worth more than 10x that and climbing, with unique ownership of 4,500 owners out of 10,000 mints, almost 10,000 ETH of volume traded. Very interesting project, another zoo animal project, but it seems that the entire thesis, the project is very much so predicated on this royalty that is associated with owning a lion. So have you, I think we're talking about potentially buying in at maybe about 0.6 ETH.
0.5.
0.5. What do you think of this this recent run up?
Screw them. Yeah, I didn't get in, and I've had enough of these lazy lions. I'm just kidding. The lazy lions they're great. They have a great community going. They have a great thing going. I didn't know anything even about the royalties, which sounds just really questionable. But outside of the royalties, they've gotten significant traction, and I think that's phenomenal. I think it's a great thing, and the royalty dynamic definitely does pump it some, which does also tie in a degree to the SupDucks. Now, separately, Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example, is discussing doing a DAO, and I wonder if it'll have some of that, those dynamics as well. It's interesting to see. So I think they're great. I know Heaton Shaw, who's a friend of mine, he was mentioning that, well, he's just been a strong advocate of this. He's been hosting Twitter spaces, promoting it, convincing people to post memes and things like that and spread the word. And it's been very effective. Whether or not you love her or hate them, I hated Pudgy Penguins when they came out. They were so annoying with their stuff. They were just like insulting the other groups, basically. And it was very aggressive. And I grew to love them because they're cute, pudgy penguins, you know? But I think in terms of, and also because their floor dropped from 7 down to 2, which felt like a little more sustainable. There's so many of them over the 2 ETH floor, though, now that you know, people are saying the PFP space is dead. That's the opposite of what we're seeing at this point in time. We're seeing SupDucks launched back in July, but we're seeing SupDucks, Lazy Lions, all these other different projects surge above even 1 ETH, 2 ETH. I don't know. I think maybe like it's not over until a bunch of people have gotten wrecked, and not enough people have gotten wrecked yet. So, including, I mean, that could go as high as, one of the questions that I have is, does this diminish the value of Bored Apes? Like, and that's something that I seriously wonder about. I don't doubt the capacity of the Bored Ape team, and I will never underestimate their ability to execute on things, because they have been, I didn't know who they were. No one, like, for the most part, knew who they were. They were just a bunch of random people launching this thing, but they've executed phenomenally, and basically not betting on great executors is just a bad mistake. So yeah, but it is a good question, which is like, what's the value of Bored Apes in a world where other PFPs, including CryptoPunks, they probably would have said the same thing. But when these other PFPs float up to that sort of level, over 4 ETH in the case of SupDucks.
Yeah, and I think I found myself a group for Creature World. So I just that was really easy. So, you know, I'll be a part of this whole thing.
I appreciate you being focused on this show, Pio. I mean, that's phenomenal. You're like over there doing work. Are you solving math problems also, doing some homework for somebody? Like, what's going on? We're on a show.
I'm definitely getting pinged by my IRL boss. So I'm just going through like an internal struggle as I'm listening to you talk. But I did absorb everything that you were saying. I think that your theory of whether this takes away from Bored Apes is very interesting. I personally hope it does so that apes can correct down to a level that makes it at least relatively attainable for me to buy one. I've decided that I'm willing to spend like up to 60 or 70,000 US dollars on a Bored Ape, which is literally like half what they're worth right now, or maybe even less. But, the Lazy Lions is just another example of one of these projects where the newcomers that came into the NFT space, people from crypto, people from just like normal life, rallied behind this, and the community was so strong. I remember when I bought that lion and I posted it on Twitter, people went nuts. The one thing that I'm a little bit creeped out by is they all call each other king. And I'm just kind of like, all right, look, if you're a grown man, I don't really need you calling me king.
They call me king and I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lazy Lions. I respect you respecting me. So thank you for that.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, the bottom line is this is a primetime example of community leading to a project being successful. So when you see that really, what's the word, like fervent community, when they're just so passionate, I think that is a safe bet in a lot of cases if you're buying in, early to a project.
We usually call that a cult.
It kind of is. It kind of is a cult, but hey, it's a cult with some pretty cool lions that have man buns and sunglasses. Fun fact, I owned the 9,999th rarest lion. So the second least rare lion of them all I owned.
That was the floor of the floor.
It was just the floor of the floor. It was literally in the gutter. But anyway,
not a gutter cat, because then you'd be winning.
Because then I'd be winning if I kept the lion too. Either way, I'd be in good shape. But yeah, I mean, Lazy Lions, interesting project. I don't know about buying into it at 2.5 ETH at this point.
I'm putting in all my money at 2.5 ETH. Just throw it in there. Not financial advice.
I mean, Nick is a certified NFT financial advisor. You can listen to him on the Nifty Morning Alpha Twitter Spaces show.
Those jokes are less entertaining when it's recorded.
That's true. That's true. When there's evidence. So, SupDucks. Do you own a SupDuck?
I do own a SupDuck. I owned multiple SupDucks, but I sold 2 of them at like 0.5 ETH or something like that. That was just a bad move. I also just published a podcast with the designer, creator of SupDucks. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. So Fly on Donnie just said our intro was not quite as Walken-ish as previous. As I'm assuming Christopher Walken.
Yes, I did see that comment on YouTube the other day. So can you give us your best Christopher Walken impression?
Wait, I didn't see the comment. What was the comment?
It said that they liked your Christopher Walken take. It turned out to Fly on Donnie that's actually just how Pio sounds. So sometimes he comes across as a Christopher Walken.
So first of all, Fly on Donnie, if you're bearish on our show because I didn't sound like Christopher Walken, or maybe it's when I say something like sound like that. But
there you go. That was a good one.
Okay. Well, look, Fly on Donnie, I think you and me need a sidebar. We're not going to interrupt the show because of your little comment about...
You just did interrupt the show. You literally pinned it and then interrupted the show. So next time that happens, how about you don't do that?
Okay. Fair enough. Well, look, SupDucks. Oh my God. I can't believe this thing has exploded the way it has. So the floor is 4 effing ETH on this thing. My goodness. Oh my God. Been watching this thing since 0.15 ETH, 0.3 ETH. It corrected back down from 0.3 to 0.15. I
love watching your regret here. As someone who's holding it, I'm just loving that. But here's the deal. I was in SupDucks. I was in Cool Cats. I'm in Bored Ape. And I sold a lot of them, early on. This is just sort of a fact of the matter of, kind of what's just part of being in the world of NFTs. Congratulations if you got all of them and are holding all of them. That's a great place to be. But yeah,
it's wild. But at the same time, you could kind of see it, and it's totally based on the art style. I know. Well, don't they also have? Is it Quack token? Is that the token that has come out? The Quack token?
No, it's called Volt.
Okay.
Is that it? Is it quack quack quiggity quack?
I was
Is it
really clever with that one.
is it I'm a duck duck? Is it duck duck goose token?
Well,
No, it's
anyway,
called Volt. So, anyways, Volt, the price of Volt is, let's see, Volt token. And also someone says that creatures are getting smoked after after that
the
rug.
airdrop rug, like what, the one group that got, but I mean, it's not even a big rug. It's like a rug that's worth, like, I guess it's 1.2 ETH. It's not an insignificant amount of money. But what, like, that one rug is causing Creature World
No,
to,
it's 1.24. That's great.
yeah, sounds good to me.
We expected that to take place post this drop, frankly. So yeah, the price of Volt is $1.32 right now. I actually can tell you what it yields essentially. So I have $1.32 right now. I have. I'll tell you in a second. I believe it's the amount that I have is. I have 254 of these. So owning my SupDuck has given me so far 254 times 132. So each duck is generating $335 in a couple of weeks, basically. So
that's really good.
that's just like tokens coming in. Now I don't know who's LPing this token. In other words, providing liquidity on the counter position. But it looks like there's $144,000 of volume each day. This has gone through ups and downs, but the fact that it's sustaining at this level, even at 132, is pretty crazy. It seems like people value the token. And there's also an airdrop coming, which is supposed to happen, I think, today. So that's what's going on in the world of SupDucks. And I'm a happy owner. You know, I like seeing that they're executing, and that's all that one could ask for.
These situations make it so hard for me to sell NFTs that I have any sort of belief in, like Deadfellas, for example, because I look at that project and I'm like, well, why can't that project run up to 3 or 4 ETH, just like these SupDucks have, you know?
Hey, could you wait to mention that until I buy a few?
It's not a bad time to buy one at 0.45. It's been as high as 0.6, and there's a little bit of an influencer pump behind it. But yeah, I mean, look, SupDucks, great artwork, like fantastic artwork, very unique profile picture artwork. And for a generative project, it's pretty damn clean all the way around, the way that they've done these bright backgrounds and all of the different themes that they put together, looking like Rocco's Modern Life.
Ooh, that's a great
Man,
comparison. Rocco's Modern Life, man, what a throwback on that one. So yeah, that it just has a hip 90s feel to it. Like I'm thinking neon clothes that I'm wearing. I want a neon coat that has the SupDuck logo on the back of it, like that, or my SupDuck printed on it. It's very 90s vibe. I love that you said Rocco's Modern Life though. I'm
well, I
dating
feel,
myself here, but yeah. But
yeah,
I'm like still way older than you at 65 years old.
right. You are pushing 70. And I think that, like, you know, some of these with the party shirts that they put on, I feel like there might be direct influence from Rocco's Modern Life. Because if you remember on that show, he wears that very cool colored, like blue and red, or blue and pink. Yeah, like this, like, you know, and the way that they did the backgrounds, like they could have just done a solid color background, but they're like, no, we're gonna like do really good backgrounds too. So yeah, I mean, SupDucks, look, hats off to whoever created the art for this. I think it's fantastic. I had every
It's Frankie
opportunity.
Nines is his name. Frankie
Frank,
Nines. Check out that episode on the Nifty Nick show.
well, hats off to Frankie Nines. Wish I could get him for my show for an interview, but you know, I don't have the same level of prestige
Probably
as
not going to
Nifty
happen.
Nick. It's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. There's no way. Or yeah, I mean, I could name drop you, but then he'll reach out to you and you'll be like, nah, I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, the project, I had every opportunity to buy into it, I didn't, and this is the FOMO and the regret that I have to live with now for the rest of my life.
Well, you should, and I'm gonna probably mention SupDucks to you every time on the way up to 45 ETH, which is where this bad boy's headed. You know, Bored Apes may have a floor of 35. maybe SupDucks are the next. Here's the thing: how far? The real question is, what's the next floor? Like, what's the next level? And I think the most that we've seen is 7 or 8, which is where Cool Cats is operating. We've seen Gutter Cat Gang go there as well in the past. I mean, I think that's basically where we're seeing tier 3, like CryptoPunks tier 1, Bored Ape tier 2. What's tier 3? And I'm seeing Cool Cats and stuff like that. And here's the other thing. It makes sense that Cool Cat there's not just going to be one that ends up in tier 2. I don't think there's going to be just one that ends up in tier 1. Like there can only be one CryptoPunks project, but there can't only be one really successful NFT that gains that sort of attention and desire that people want for collecting that specific item. No one has a monopoly on that. And that's something that I think it's anybody's game to go and execute and build something of immense value that makes people want to continue collecting.
Very succinct. Great way to wrap the show. This is the Nifty Alpha. Next week, we will be joined by our third co-host, the third compadre, the Sophisticated Art Speculator. So look out for that. Stay tuned for our morning NFT spaces on Twitter. They occur either at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. seemingly every day, but at a minimum on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And you can actually come on stage because it is an open mic and talk about trades, projects that you're invested in. It's really a wonderful opportunity for you to get your voice heard and for you to have a therapy session about the losses that you've taken trading NFTs because you got wrecked.
I love that. Yeah, it's definitely a safe space for everybody. There may be a hint of sarcasm. It occasionally pops up. But outside of that, it's just a safe space to come and talk about trades. We're really toned down, low energy sort of place. That's what it's about.
It's really like chill. It's like a really chill space where we talk about trades. But anyway, this was a kick-ass show. I'm Pio. I'm chilling with Nifty Nick. Go to the nifty.com and download Nick's data that he gives away for free every single day.
Thanks for the shout out. Wow, I really appreciate that.
Man. Download it, man. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? Download.
What are you doing? Get over to that site. And also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to now hit the next milestone.
1,000 subscribers, baby.
Not 100 subscribers. No, we're going to go to 110. No, I'm just kidding. What we're aiming for is 200. Let's get to 200, and then we'll go from there, because this is a journey. We're not even 30 days into it. We still can't even claim a channel with our username and stuff like that. So we need to get there, and we're hoping that within 30 days, we can get to 1,000 subscribers. That's sort of the goal that we have, and every single subscriber counts. There may be some upside. We should incentivize people to subscribe. I don't know. I can't guarantee what you're going to get out of that, but you're going to want to subscribe.
You're going to want to subscribe.
You're going to want to do it, okay?
You're going to want to subscribe.
If you're debating it, click that subscribe button.
You might want to do it. Okay. And watch me on Nifty Culture YouTube too. You can subscribe there too. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.